Howdy folks, how's it going today? Hope everybody's doing really good. Welcome to my 2025 guitar collection video and my little man cave tour here. I'm running behind this year, I'm going to be honest with you. I see everybody's got their new collection videos out on YouTube and I'm slacking. I've been putting it off, honestly. This is probably the hardest video that I do throughout the year. First of all, it's a lot of work, and second of all, there's this realization of I have way too much of this stuff. Anyway, I want to make one thing clear before we get going. This is not about bragging rights or anything. I'm not rich, I'm not famous. I still have my first guitar right here, okay? I've been collecting them my entire life. I've inherited a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stories here, and this is going to take quite a while, so get comfortable. Let's do it. Okay, folks, so what we're looking at here is my little home studio setup. Back in there is where my little control room is. That window actually flips up, which is cool. It opens up. And I got a little ISO room off to the side here full of guitars and gear basically right now. So it does work well though for doing like, vocals and, putting an amp in there and cranking it. And without all the stuff in front, you do have a line of sight to the jam room out here, which is kind of handy too. So I'll take you guys in there eventually too, and we'll go through some of that stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to walk you out where I was standing. Let's start right here. This was my first one, Hondo 2. Had the highest action in town, and sounded pretty much like the box it came in, but, it did the trick, and it got me going. I did fix it up there a while ago and put a steel reinforced rod in the neck. I took the fretboard right off. I gotta get some new tuners for it now, but it plays pretty good actually, and sounds better than it did. Anyway, I think what we'll do here, folks, is just go down through here. I'll get into the amps later if you guys want to stick around for that. I got some pretty nice amps too. There's a few random acoustics there. Actually, this one was a recent acquisition. This is an older bolt-on neck Epiphone. Kind of a neat little guitar. So anyway, we'll get the table out eventually and set it up in the middle of the room. And, I'll start cracking cases open and doing that. And I'll pull these guitars out of the rack and show you them too. There's some cool tellies in there and some other fun stuff. Okay, let's go down the wall here. We got some F-hole guitars. Really big fan of the 335 style guitars. I just absolutely love the sound of them. They're really versatile and just really comfortable to play. Ibanez makes some very nice renditions of them as well. There's an Art Star, John Schofield Signature Edition. This is a newer one. This is an Art Core. This was a gift my father just gave me recently. Really nice playing guitar too. Got a D'Angelico here. We got some, there's an Epiphone SG 57 spec guitar actually. It's got a big neck on it too. Solid. The headstock's one piece as well. That's kind of a fun one. I need to shim the pickup up on that, I think, eventually, but it is a fun one to play. Now, we got a chopper here. That's not a real one, but this thing's been modded to the hilt. I put these old archtop Epiphone pickups on it. I had my son relic it. I don't know what this was. It was already done. The logo was there when I got it, but it was cheap. It sounded pretty decent, and now it's just funky and fun to play. So there's that. Some more Les Pauls here. Standards and a couple customs. This black one's a custom shop Phantom. Kind of a neat guitar. They didn't make a lot of those. That one's been modded too. Most of this stuff has. Some of it hasn't, but you know, it is what it is. That's what I do. Here's an older Paul Reed Smith Custom 24 that used to belong to my father. He gave me that a while back. Really nice guitars. This is the older one with the rotary pickup selector and the sweet switch. Really pretty top. Straight as an arrow. Just, you know, fun guitar to play. Right next to it here, if I can get in here, we got a Yamaha Rev Star in hot Merlot color. Kind of cool guitars. They put carbon fiber strips in the wood underneath the bridge area to reinforce it. Kind of a neat little design. P90 style pickups. Just a fun one. Okay, next to it we got a Epiphone SG with P90s. I think this is a 62 reissue or something. I got a case with it that says it. I just can't remember what year. It's either 61 or 62. Now here's the thing. It says limited edition custom shop. And I can't find out any info about any Epiphone custom shop. So if you guys know anything about that, let me know. It's not a fake. These are a real thing. So I don't know. Check into it. I'm not a big SG guy, honestly, but you know, you gotta have one. It's got a big fat neck on it, and the P90s sound pretty decent. So like I said, it's good to have one of them, I guess. I ain't got much money in that. I bought that beside the road for 40 big bucks, and I'm not kidding you, folks. Okay, it does pay to pull over, I guess. Okay, we got a Gretsch here. It's the only one in the collection, but it's a nice one. It sounds nice. I can't remember the model off the top of my head, but you know, it's got the Bigsby. I like the color too as well, and it plays nice. Okay, over here we have a First Act, okay, Paul Westerberg's signature model. If you guys ever see one of these, you might want to pick one of these up. Somebody threw this in a dumpster and gave it to a friend, and he gave this to me. And this has one of the nicest feeling necks I've ever played in my life. First of all, it's a full thickness body. I'm going to probably mod this. I'm thinking about a couple humbuckers in there or something. We'll see. But that's a good platform for modding. And what a cool body style. It's really comfortable to play too. Okay, I'm trying to find a way out of here, but someday I'll take you guys for a ride up in there. There's some treasures in there too. And a Rock'em Sock'em robot setup. That's how you settle like studio arguments and, you know, old guitar arguments. That's how it's done. Okay, I got out of there. Let's move over to this wall. I'm doing the easy stuff first, so you know, that's going to take a little bit of effort. So let's get down this way. Okay, so when you step in this place, this is what you see. Clutter. And a big pile of snare drums here. Them are all vintage too. I started collecting those as well. There's that stuff everywhere as well. But anyway, let's start right here with the Super Strats. Now, this one's kind of funky. This was probably around 1990-ish, I think. Area Pro 2, or JS by Area Pro. Kind of a lower end model, reverse headstock with no locking system. The strings kept popping out of the nut, so I made this brass rail to, you know, act as a tree, and that took care of it. But it actually plays and sounds pretty decent. Not a big fan of reverse headstocks, but, you know, most of them had a locking nut on them. That's why they worked. Okay, right here we got a 1986 Charvel Model 4. It's hard to see, but this is kind of a like a plum color. It's faded pretty bad, but Kayla Flyer. This has got the boost in it too. There's a circuit board hooked to the volume pot with an op amp in it. Kind of funky. Really flat neck radius, as most of the Super Strats did seem to have that back then, but it plays really well and sounds great. Okay, Yamaha Pacifica. Now this isn't an older one, but these are great guitars, guys. Seymour Duncan's. This is stock, how it comes. It's got a splitter in it. Really nice color. And the fit and finish is just really, really great. Plays well, sounds great. Just an all-around fun guitar. Okay, here's a 1987 Hamer Chaparral. This is made in USA. The logo got tagged by a mic stand one night when I was playing, so some of that USA is missing, but I've had this guitar for many, many years. I'm the second owner of this guitar. It was actually a gift from a friend, and I've cherished this thing forever, taking it to pretty much every gig I ever played. These aren't the original pickups. The humbucker died and the middle pickup did, so I changed them, and I didn't have a black cover to fit, so I'm going to get one. These aren't the original knobs either. I have them, though. They were just the knurled brass knobs back in the day. They were painted black. They're pretty much bare now, but I have those in the pickups too. Just a great guitar, really dependable, and never let me down. Okay, so this was something I threw together, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, just in the spirit of, the Super Strat thing, but this was a full thickness Strat body, 3-tone Sunburst with a loaded pickguard in it. I don't know what the make was, but it was $5 at a yard sale again. I do have the loaded pickguard, but I like the body, and I had these old vintage, 1970s Bill Lawrence Hot Rails 500 series with the Pat Pendant stickers on them. And I got those for doing some work on a Jazzmaster for a guy years ago, and threw them in there. Just a 3-way toggle. And I joke about this guitar. It's the best sounding Les Paul in the room. I bought the neck on eBay, sprayed the headstock to kind of match the pickguard, and played it a ton. Really fun guitar. Okay, moving right along, we've got a, I think this is around 1990-ish, Valley Art Standard Pro. This is pre-Samick. This is before, they sold out. This was when it was owned by people in California, Mike McGuire, and I think Larry Carlton was in on that maybe. Anyway, this was the first production one they made, was the Standard Pro, and they came stock with a black pickguard. This one was ordered with a white pickguard, which makes it kind of rare because this is a 7/8 body. It's a little smaller than a regular Strat body. So, these weren't just in every music store for sale. You couldn't just go get the pickguard. You'd had to make it to do it. So, it is lowest serial number 2. This is serial number 293. I have owned this for many years as well, and I got the case and everything. I have done my absolute best to take exceptional care of this. Other than the yellowing and whatnot, there's no scratches, no buckle rash, nothing. And I've only used it like in the studio. I've only played a couple gigs with it, so that's a pretty clean one and a really fun guitar. Okay, here's my first electric. What's left of it. This was probably a mid-80s Squire, and full thickness bodies back then too. And eventually I changed all the parts over the USA Fender stuff from about, in the same area, 2-point trim. I put Fender tuners on it, and, everything but the pickups and the controls. That's all what came in it, but they always sounded good, so I left them. This is probably the second neck I've had on it, which is getting to the point of needing a refret, but I have the original one too, and I just refretted it so I can put it back on, but I wore the first one right down to the wood. Okay, here's one right next to it, about the same era, maybe a year or two older. This belongs to a friend. Now this one's made in Japan. Pretty rare. It's got come with a lock and nut and a stamped Fender trim system. Now the fine tuners are in the case. He just removed them, but this guitar always sounded better than mine. And that's really what started me into modding my guitars, was this. We played in a band together for years with these guitars, and that's really what really fueled the fire and got me going into this stuff. But anyway, we still have them, and they still both sound and play great. I think mine sounds better now, but I don't know. That's debatable. Okay, we got a big headstock MZ Strat here, HSS. It's got a really narrow nut profile. Not a big fan of that, but it sounds okay, and it plays pretty decent. Now here's another big headstock. This one's a Squire Caster, basically. I'm really drawing a blank on what the pickups are in here, but this has all been modded, and all my Strats have the Gilmore mod, which when you're on the bridge pickup engages the front pickup. I also add the tone control to the bridge on them all too, so they all got them. Okay, but this is one of my better sounding Strats, to be honest with you. There's something about that thing. It just plays great and sounds great. That's a full thickness body too. I'm not even sure if that's a Squire body. It may not be. So anyway, I don't even care, honestly. If they sound good, I'm good with it. This is a Mexican Fender Strat here in surf green. This one's got custom shop pickups in it, and the pots have been changed in the switch to CTS stuff, I believe, if I remember right, and Gilmore modded as well. Now right next to it we got a Squire Bullet, the cheapest one they make, in mint green. I modded this one too. This was unplayed. I bought this from a lady that ran a tattoo shop for $100, and come to find out it's worth more than $100. The mint green was limited, I guess. And then I found out that Fender does that a lot. If they do a surf green, it's usually a limited run, I heard. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe you guys can plumb me up in the comments section. Okay, so that takes us down the walls. There's some more random stuff, like I said, everywhere here. This belongs to a friend of mine, too. This is an old True Tone arch top with a pickup on it. Really cool guitar, really fun to play, and just an all-around unique tone to it as well, plugged in. Okay, I'm just going to clean up these other ones in the floor here so we can make some room. Now this one I just got. This is Ibanez Destroyer, 1977. I just acquired this, like I said, from one of the viewers, actually, on the channel, Gunslinger. Did some work on his guitars for him, and we worked out a deal, and I ended up with this. And it's got the original case over there too, which is pretty cool and pretty rare, actually. Not a lot of them survived. Over here, this is kind of a funky one, but this is a great sounding guitar. This is a First Act, okay? This was pink, and it had flames on it. And I got it really cheap. Basically peeled the plastic off it, like a lot of these you find, you know, on marketplaces and what have you. It was unplayed. So I was going to just kind of flip it or whatever, and I plugged it in, and I was totally blown away with the sound of this thing. I could not believe it. I had a hard time admitting that it sounded that good. Funky body, really fun to play. I hit it with a rattle can, and it is what it is. So I didn't like the neck, so I took the neck off it, and somebody gave me this neck, and the headstock was sheared right off it. It was an acrylic headstock. So I made one out of mahogany and splined it on there. You can still see some of the acrylic on the side, but it's been holding. It hasn't moved a millimeter, so that's a fun one too. So anyway, I'm going to clean this stuff up. We're going to get the table out, and we're going to tackle that. But before I do that, I'll take you in the control room real quick, and we'll get that out of the way. Okay, folks, so here we go. I got some drummer's felt clung to the wall there just as a little sound barrier or what have you, but this is my little control room. I got some old stuff kicking around in there, and of course, more guitars. There's another marketplace find, unplayed. It's a cheap one, it's a Geo, but, you know, with a little tweaking, it's not a bad sounding guitar. You know, you can pick those up for $40-50 everywhere. I got some digital audio workstations in here. Get a few different varieties, a Korg and a Yamaha. I still use them. I haven't taken the plunge into Pro Tools or any of that stuff. I use a punch pedal, and that's it. That's my editing capability. Although these will do it, that's the way I learned. I started with tape, so I got some old vintage speakers here that I run. Just used to them. These are kind of cool too. One's underneath. There's grill cloth on all four sides. There's a round speaker in there that faces up, and there's actually a diffuser that's above it that doesn't touch the speaker and kicks sound out in all directions. Really funky, but they sound amazing. So, you know, I've gotten used to the sound of the room and these speakers, so that's really the most important thing anyway. So that's looking back out, and I got a recording snake running out there too. It's probably near the drum set, I'm guessing, down in that area. And it just works for me, and the room sounds really, really good. Everybody loves jamming here. It's just, it's amazing at any volume. Okay, I do apologize for the clutter here. Gig bags. This is my little ISO room in here. There's some more old gear back there too. There's a ADAT, DAT, Tascam 2-track, all nice stuff, great shape. In here, there's some more guitars. We'll get to them eventually. I got some old reel-to-reels over there, and who knows what, folks. There's all kinds of treasures in here. My secrets. It does work well for an ISO booth, actually, though. I got a window here, too, so you got sight line to the guy running the board, that kind of thing. It's a small-scale operation, but it does work well. And that's all that counts, right? Alright, I got the table set up here. It's game time. Let's start with this rack right here. I'll start pulling them out, and then we'll start getting into some cases. Alright, here we go. Okay, first up, we got a Fender Telecaster. This is around, I believe, 1988, maybe. I could be wrong, but in that era, it could be a little earlier than that, too. This is made in Japan, and I only think they did this for a year or so. It's all wood, no plastic back or anything. This guitar really sounds great. It feels like a Tele. The neck feels like a Tele as well. It's got a preamp in it, and it records quite well, actually. Just a really fun guitar to play all the way around. Okay, we got a Schecter here, PT Custom. These are a really fun guitar. It's got a carved top on it. Beautiful top, too. Really pretty. I love that color. Duncan design humbuckers in it with a splitter for this one. Three-way. Like I said, carved top, pretty binding. And, it's basically like a Les Paul Tele hybrid, if you will. Really versatile, actually. It's got kind of a wide fretboard on it, too. A little flatter profile, but it plays really fast and it just feels good. Kind of reminds me of the old Super Strat thing, with a wider fretboard and a little thinner neck on it. But it's a beauty. And so as the story goes, the PT Custom, Pete Townsend, I think Roger Daltrey actually was playing some Schecters too. There is a video of him doing like a sound check of Eminence Front I've seen, and they're playing Schecter Teles, so it seems. And but they never endorsed him or anything, but that's why they didn't put Pete Townsend on it. It's just a PT. I don't know. It is what it is, folks. Okay, here we got a Patscaster. I bought this guitar basically like this. I haven't done anything to it. Just set it up to my preference, my string gauge, and I may have put those knobs on it too. But anyway, this is a good one. It's ash body. I believe it's a Mexican, maybe even possibly an American body. I don't know. The guy purchased a neck for it, which is a massive, massive neck. I mean, this is a lunker. Skunk stripe, one piece, no capped fretboard or anything. And, I mean, if you got small hands, you may not want one of those. But anyway, it's kind of fun to play. It's just different. This guitar sounds really good. Lindy Fralin pickups. It's got an upgraded bridge, saddles, all CTS, Sozo pots, cap. Excuse me. Just a great playing guitar. Really fun to play. And, the ash ones sound a little different. So it's kind of cool to own a few different, Teles with different woods. Okay, so here we have basically the, yin and yang of it, the white one. Patscaster, same thing here. I can't remember what's in there. I know they're upgraded. Good electronics in it. I haven't really touched this guitar. It's got an upgraded, I believe that's a Wilkinson piece with compensated saddles. Great neck profile. Just a great Tele. Maple neck. I like maple neck Teles for some reason. There's just, it's a Tele. It seems like it needs to be a maple neck for, at least for me. This is alder body, I'm pretty sure. Has a little different sound to them. They tend to be a little fatter sounding, in my opinion. A little sweeter sounding, not so spunky like a good Tele is, but you can still get it. I mean, it's just a matter of getting everything set up and get the right hardware in there. Fun guitar, though. Okay, now we're getting into the fun stuff here. This is the stuff that I absolutely love because it's different. Now, this is a Squire Mustang, big headstock, short scale. These are a fun guitar to play. Man, you can blaze on those things. Just seems like. Anyway, the trem system on this, as you guys probably already know, is just, I don't know. It's no good in my opinion. The bridge can actually rock back and forth in these holes, and the tremolo system's just terrible. So I took that out, and I put a short Tele bridge on here so I could intonate it and keep that locked down. So we got a hardtail here now, and there was 2 holes here in the back where all that hardware was. I just took a piece of ebony and run some anchors in there so I could secure that on there just to cover the holes up. But it kind of works cool if you can rest your hand on it when you're playing and, you know, get that behind the pickup sound, that real twangy stuff. And you can get some out-of-phase stuff with this too, which is really cool. They're a lot of fun. I'm going to probably look for a few more of these just for mod purposes. I think I could do a lot of cool stuff with one of these. So anyway, there's that. Okay, here's something you don't see every day. This is a PV Generation Series, 80s era. Yep, Telecaster with a lock and nut on it. Made in USA. It's got this nice quilty top on it. EMGs. I believe that's a splitter too. And that switch. Kahler Spider, maybe? I can't read that, but this is a really, really cool guitar. I mean, I don't get this out enough and play it. Every time I do, it just blows me away how fun that is and how unique the sound is, too. You don't see a lot of them around, like I said. I've only seen a couple in person, but I really like this guitar, and the fit and finish on this is quite well. Again, you know, it's an American-made guitar from the late 80s, so there you have it. Okay, here's some more fun stuff. This is basically the shop guitar here. This was a Strat body that somebody gave me, if I remember right. I cut the upper bout off the upper horn, converted it to a Tele. Obviously, you know, you can see the pick guard set up for a Strat. Got some USA Fender pickups in it, and a new old stock DiMarzio humbucker in the back. And I also made a B-bender, palm bender here, out of a kitchen spoon. That's the handle for it. And it works pretty good. And, you know, didn't cost me a penny. I will do an in-depth video on that. I think I did a video when I was like first doing it, but I've got it down now so it works really well. Comes back every time exactly to pitch. So this is kind of a fun one, like I said, 5-way switch. This is a non-stop experiment. I'm always doing goofy stuff to this guitar, and it's just a really fun thing to own something like that you don't really care too much about. Although I am pretty partial to this guitar. It sounds and plays great now, so I am kind of a little more cautious about what I do to it, but it's really light too. It doesn't weigh anything. I don't know what it's made out of, but it is what it is. Okay, so here we got a mystery one. I think this is probably a Squire Affinity, I'm thinking. I've seen some the same color. Someone stained the headstock and it looked like it had a stick there, but in any case, it's a twin humbucker guitar here. It's got kind of a nice champagne sparkle finish, which I think is kind of neat. Basically like a Les Paul setup. Hardtail and nice neck profile on this one too. It's pretty much unplayed. I haven't played this much myself, I'm going to admit that to you, but from what I remember, it was respectable, definitely. Nice and straight, and it is what it is. Fun one, though. I call them fun casters, because, you know, it's fun to own those things. You're not worried about, like, dinging it or whatever, and it's more freedom. I play different on those older guitars that I don't really worry about, so to speak. I don't know, maybe you guys do too. Here's a cool one. Little kid's guitar, but it's a Saturday Night Special. That's what the brand was. I'm thinking 80s probably. Professional guitars, just by the headstock and the pickup thing. You know, Van Halen-esque, let's just say that. Everybody was doing it, so I bought this beside the road for $2. And surprisingly, that thing actually sounds pretty cool. I think I did a video covering little guitars with this, actually, which was probably pretty bad. Anyway, that's a fun one. Okay, here we go. We're going to start cracking latches and taking names. All right, we got a bass here. This is a 1977 Fender Precision maple neck, about 20 pounds with strings on it. It's heavy. This is a really clean example for the year. Like I said, this is a 77. You can see right there, okay? Really clean, really heavy, and it sounds really, really good. But I wouldn't want to stand up all night with that without some sort of a, I don't know, maybe a thick pillow or something. That's too much for me, but it is a good example, like I said. This is just studio use only. This never leaves. So, original case. There you have it. You can see the remnants of somebody's name, Rich. I actually know the guy that bought this. This is I would be the fourth owner of this right here. So anyway, cool old piece. I'm just going to keep going, random stuff. Okay, we got a Gruhn Versatile here. I've owned this for a little over a year now. I bought this out in Nashville. I went out there to visit and just vacation. Ended up going to Gruhn's and got to meet the man himself. He sold me this guitar. And this is made out of Nicaraguan rosewood, back and sides, and a cedar top. These things are really, really cool. And this is number 21. I guess you can see that, or maybe you can't, but signed by George. It's got a Bags Hi-Fi in it, and just a really fun guitar. 2 braces in the top, that's it. They really have a big bass response. It's shocking the first chord you play on these. So, you know, this one's held up really nice. I've played it quite a lot, you know, since I've owned it, and it just keeps getting better and better. I really love the sound of it. The playability's awesome. The truss rod goes all the way to the end of the fretboard. You know, I can't say anything bad about it. So there it is. No, it's not a Martin, but that's an old Martin case. Okay, this is a Simon and Patrick luthier guitar from the 80s. There's the headstock logo because they changed these a lot. Now, if you don't know who this company is, this is part of Bob Godin from Canada's company. If you've heard of Godin Guitars, Simon and Patrick. I don't know if he owns Seagull. I think he may. He has some guitar companies, let's just say that. These were very early examples. This is mahogany back and sides, spruce top, and the serial number on this one is 0074. Okay? This belonged to my brother, actually. This was some of the first guitars that we actually owned as far as good guitars. My father bought these for us, I'm going to say in the early 80s, probably. 83, 84, something like that. At a local music store in Maine here, and he got him to throw in some cases. So this case wasn't broke, but it's had a long journey. So I'm going to show you the other one that belongs to me. They both belong to me now, but I'll show you the other one. It's 10 serial numbers apart from this one. So this is 74 and mine's 84. Okay. This is number 84. Mine's a little cleaner. I took a little better care of it, but spruce top, maple back and sides. Some really pretty maple too. You know, these are basically like a Martin in design, and they really do sound better today than they did back then. And I know because I've played this thing forever, so I'm very familiar with the sound of it. It's held on really nice. It's in great shape. And again, we got an old Martin case here. Mine's in pretty good shape. So there you have it, number 84. Any guesses? All right. Gibson U2 Showcase Edition. Okay. There you go. This guitar is basically a prototype. So Wayne Charvel worked at Gibson briefly and was designing these guitars. Gibson's not real proud of these, I don't think, because of the Strat body and whatnot, but this is a really good guitar. It is. I mean, it's a super Strat, obviously. It's got the OBL rails in it. Not played much at all, but it's got the check-in. You can see the cracking on the finish. It's not scratched really, but it's hard to catch some of that. It's checked though. The check-in's going this way, which is a little different. Usually they'll do it this way and they'll make like these little squigglies. These are nice and straight. Toggles for on and offs, and it does have a coil tap. Okay, really funky guitar. Now you can tell it's a prototype. Like this looks like kind of curly stuff in the wood. You can feel those little divots right there, just bump, 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 where it wasn't filled good with grain filler or whatever. Try to catch it. You can see the swirls though. And, you know, even the neck joint's not that great, but I don't know if they were built in haste. I will show you the certificate that comes with it. This is 1988, I believe. Here's the ink pen certificate right here. And that's what it is. I've had this guitar a long, long time. You know, it is what it is. It's different and sort of rare. Not a lot of them exist, I guess, but I have seen some U2s for sale. Not a lot of showcase models. I have seen one other one, I think, in my lifetime since I've owned this. So, you know, it's been kept well. It's stayed exactly the way it should, other than the checking. And, you know, it's just a fun guitar, like I said. I've had a lot of fun playing it. This one don't get taken out ever either. This is basically stayed right inside and just used for home use and whatnot. So we'll probably continue to do that with that one as well. But that's a guitar I'll probably try to get out in the rotation and play some more here this year, hopefully. I mean, the case has got to be worth something. Look how clean that thing is. And, you know, a different shape, right? Okay, I think if I can remember right, this is a cool one here. Oh, it's got an extra latch over there, I think. Let me get that one. Okie doke. My fingers are getting sore just unbuckling cases here. Yep, that's it. Okay. This was something I inherited from my grandfather. This was his Gibson LGO. And this is a sweetheart of a guitar. You want to see some real check-in, folks. There it is. You know, Old Grant probably wasn't above leaving this in the trunk of the car in the winter once in a while. But that's as real as it gets. A lot of people like these guitars. They got a cool blues vibe to them. Nice neck profile. And I straightened this one out. It had the plastic bridge on it, the bolt on. I got rid of that. Put a rosewood bridge, and I put a brass plate on the bridge pad underneath. And that woke this thing up immensely. This is really fun to play. Like I said, a lot of guys are starting to collect these as well. This is his original stuff in here. There's his necktie. He was a Baptist minister. He used a clip-on tie. He was cheating, but I even got his some of his song list here. Just you can't buy that stuff in a store. That's just what it is. But that's one that I definitely cherish, and I just love playing it too. So there's another cool one. I think that old LGO is probably late 50s, maybe early 60s. I can't remember, but I remember Grant telling me that he went into the music store to buy it, and when he come out, my grandmother wouldn't speak to him for the rest of the ride home. He said, I just slid it in the back seat and started driving. All right, we've got an Epiphone master-built acoustic here. This is a very nice sounding guitar, basically like new condition. Big sound for a cutaway. That's what really shocked me on this, how much volume it had, and nice rich sound. This is mahogany back and sides and a spruce top. It's electrified, really nice neck profile, and very well made. I mean, they did a great job on these. I really can say that. It's good quality, and it sounds really nice. Okay, we got a Taylor acoustic here. This is a 214, I think, if I remember right. Spruce top. Got a nice little claw in the wood top there. It's not a scratch, it's the green, but bear claw, whatever you want to call it. Koa back and sides on this one. Cutaway, electrified. Nice playing guitar. Everybody loves Taylor, I guess. I mean, you'll hear me say this is a great sounding guitar over and over today, but honestly, the guitars that I've kept for that reason, because they sounded good. Now, this isn't my go-to acoustic as far as tone. They might even be overrated in some cases. I mean, they've got a big following, but I haven't played a ton of Taylors that really floored me. I know they're probably out there and they exist, but, you got to factor in a lot of things. This is Koa. I've never played an acoustic with Koa back and sides or owned one, so it's different. So I have to take it with that approach. But it does play well and it sounds nice. So there you have it, Koa Taylor. All right, here's a rare one. This is a late 80s Fender D'Acquisto jazz guitar. If you guys know who Jimmy D'Acquisto was, then you may know something about these. This actually has rosewood knobs. They're in the case. I still have them, but so here you have it. D'Acquisto. So Jimmy D'Acquisto was doing some design work for Fender at one point, from what I've read. And I believe he was actually training some of the workers in, building arch tops and whatnot. And, they made these in a few different variations. I've seen them with a single pickup, and this one has the two pickups, like I said. Really fun guitar to play, always, and it's got a nice neck. I think I refretted this one, possibly. I'd have to go back and look in my playlist, but yeah, this is a really treasured piece for me. I really enjoy this guitar. It's a lot of fun to play, and like I said, they're kind of a unique item to own. Okay, we got a Guild acoustic here, D140, spruce top. I don't know if this one was rosewood or mahogany. I can't remember. I think it's mahogany. Yeah, and it's what it looks to be anyway. I'm not a wood expert, but this is a really fine sounding instrument, and feels really good to play too. It's got a nice neck profile. I like the body size of the guitar. It's really friendly as far as, you know, where your arms break over the body. It feels comfortable. Some dreadnoughts can be, you know, a little thicker and harder to play for people with shorter arms and that kind of thing. But these are a really nice sounding instrument, well built too. Okay, we got a Washburn parlor guitar here, 1883 to 2008, 125th anniversary celebration in a coffin case. It's a little parlor guitar, like I said. Let's take a peek at it. These are a lot of fun, and it will surprise you the amount of volume that this little thing can generate. Again, I had to take a step back. Really fancy carving on the bridge wings here and stuff. You got the seashells. Mahogany. Just a really neat guitar. It's got a V neck, as you can see. I mean, that's very pronounced. Really short scale, like I said, but it's a recreation of an 1883. Yes, 1883 it says on the case. So they spec'd it to that, I guess, is what the whole thing is. But again, you know, it's got its own little sound, and it's a fun thing to play. Okay, here's another little parlor guitar. This is a Seagull. This actually belonged to my mother, who passed away in 2000. But this was her guitar, and this one will definitely stay with me until I'm gone. And again, guys, you would not believe the volume that comes out of these little things. And they're just a lot of fun to play. You know, sitting around the house. Should have one of them next to your chair. It's just a lot of fun, like I said. Okay, so this was kind of a shock. This is an Epiphone SG Special. And this actually belongs to a friend of mine. And I didn't even know I had it, so I got your SG, Dan, I guess. Man, it's kind of cool, though, when you get old and your memory goes. It's like Christmas morning every time you open a guitar case up. Okay, well, ironically enough, I have another friend named Dan that leaves guitars at my house. This is his Martin Acoustic. I can't read the label in there. It's got a few cracks here. Actually, I might have to look those over a little bit. Feels like they're kind of uneven there. So I'm going to sideline both guitars that belong to my friends Dan and get them out of my pile. Okay. Okay, so yeah, here's some more stuff. This is mine, but I forgot about this one. I'm not even sure where I got this. This is an Indiana Scout acoustic. That funky blue color. I don't think these were expensive, but I really can't remember. I'm not sure, but this does sound okay. And it feels pretty decent. I'll probably re-gift that or something to somebody that needs a guitar someday. Who knows? We'll do something cool with it anyway. But it is a pretty decent guitar. It's in decent shape and makes somebody a nice player. Okay, we got an Alvarez Artist Series guitar here. Nice acoustic. This one actually belonged to my brother-in-law, who we just lost this past year. So, again, another very sentimental piece. He bought this new. He never really learned to play a lot, but it does sound nice, and you know, again, it's got a lot of sentimental value as well. So it's in great shape. It's got a little cloudiness on the back under the finish, which that can happen in these old kind of cardboard cases. Seems to gas off the finish or something. I don't know what it is about it, but I've seen that a few times on guitars with these kind of cardboard cases, so beware. Okay, folks, this is going to be the last one for today. I'm going to have to do a part 2. I'm played right out, and I'm not even joking. That's a true story. So, we got this big boy here. Let's pull it out of the case here. Okay, we got a big boy here. This is a Guild X175 hollow body. And like I said, this is the big body here, folks. This isn't for just little people, I guess. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, it's got the P90 kind of top mount soap bars on it. 3-way, 2-volume, 2-tone. I believe that's mahogany. Back and sides. Looks like a spruce top. Very good shape. Super clean. And again, you know, it's got the old open back tuners, which work fine too. Good neck on it. A lot of these guitars of that kind of, you know, era would have big chunky necks. Some of them wouldn't, but, you know, the profiles could be a little wider on the fretboards along a lot of them. But this feels really fun to play. Fits in your hand good, I guess is my point. So, again, it's got this kind of fancy string bridle, a trapeze down here. You got a wooden adjustable bridge. You know, really harkens back to the old jazz guitar days for sure. And, you know, again, it's all about the sound. Every guitar has a different sound. So, you know, you have to dig through these piles of guitars to find these ones that you like. And hopefully you don't end up like me and, you know, trapped in a corner with guitar cases piled all around me and I can't get out, because that's almost what happened today. All joking aside, folks, I really am going to have to do a part 2. I am exhausted, and I'm going to clean stuff up here and try to regroup and make a list of some of the stuff that I didn't show, and we'll move on if you guys are still with me. I know these videos can be boring and all that, but, you know, at least it did give me a refresher of what I have. I forgot about some of these, and, you know, that's why I hang a lot of my guitars up, so I can just walk up, pick one up off the wall and play it. If I don't like it, I grab another one, and I don't have to go through Case Mountain over there to find them. But some of these I'm just going to keep pulled out in the front of the pile so I can get at them. This is one of them, because I haven't really explored this one to its depths yet. And, you know, again, it's just a cool guitar to sit down and play and have a little fun with. Well, all right, folks, I really do appreciate your patience. And, you know, again, I will do another part. If you guys, you know, enjoyed this, let me know, and I will do a part 2 and show you the rest of it. We haven't even got into the amplifiers, the pedals. There's just a ton of vintage stuff here that, you know, we could go on for days on end. But I do have some stuff that I'll try to, you know, kind of single out and just show you some of the cool stuff, or maybe stuff that you just won't find in a lot of places, you know. I guess the exotic side of it or whatever. Anyway, we'll try to get another video up for you real soon. I'm going to go take some ibuprofen and probably, I don't know, lay down for an hour or two and not lift guitar cases for at least another day and a half. All right, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. We'll see you guys real soon. Okie doke.